Good evening. Tonight we examine the Israel-Palestine conflict, a story of pain, loss, and the search for security and home. This is not just about politics, it's about real people living with fear and uncertainty, from Tel Aviv to Gaza. Decades of violence have left deep scars and unresolved questions about history, justice, and humanity. Each escalation brings new grief and sows seeds for future conflict. Our goal is not to take sides, but to understand the core questions people everywhere are asking. We'll look at the history, the claims, the impact on the vulnerable, and the forces that keep peace out of reach. Understanding is the first step. So, let's look, and let's listen. To understand why this conflict endures, we must go back to 1948 and the founding of Israel. For Jews, it was a long-awaited homeland after the Holocaust. For Palestinians, it was the Nakba, the catastrophe, displacement, and loss. This trauma has shaped generations. Wars, uprisings, and failed peace deals have followed, each deepening mistrust. Core issues, Jerusalem, refugees, settlements remain unresolved. Every failed negotiation adds bitterness, making peace feel ever more distant. The question of land ownership is at the heart of the conflict. Jews see a biblical and ancestral connection, a return to a promised homeland. Palestinians claim continuous presence, seeing Israel's creation as a colonial imposition. The 1947 UN partition plan was accepted by Jewish leaders, rejected by Arab leaders, leading to war. Today, disputes over the West Bank and settlements persist, with international law and local narratives clashing. Both sides hold powerful, deeply rooted claims. The land remains a symbol of identity and belonging for both peoples. Children bear the heaviest burden in this conflict. In Gaza, most are under 18, living with war, scarcity, and trauma. Israeli children near Gaza grow up under threat of rockets, with fear shaping their lives. Both sides' children suffer anxiety, loss, and disrupted childhoods. The trauma is shared, even if circumstances differ. Every child harmed is a human tragedy, not a political victory. Their suffering deepens the cycle of hatred for the future. The term genocide is fiercely debated. Some Palestinians and human rights groups say Israel's actions in Gaza meet the definition, citing civilian deaths and destruction. Israel and its allies reject this, calling their actions self-defense against Hamas, and argue they try to avoid civilian casualties. The International Court of Justice is weighing these claims. For one side, it's survival. For the other, it's annihilation. The debate over words reflects the depth of suffering. Each side sees the conflict through a lens of existential threat. The world is divided and often paralyzed. The US supports Israel, often blocking UN action. Other nations back Palestinians but have limited influence. Decades of peace efforts have failed. Geopolitics and domestic politics stall progress. The result cycles of condemnation, aid, and inaction. The violence continues as root causes remain unaddressed. Despite everything, hope for coexistence persists. Grassroots groups bring Israelis and Palestinians together, building bridges through dialogue and shared projects. The two-state solution, a Palestinian state alongside Israel, has long been the main proposal. But expanding settlements and hardline politics make it harder to achieve. Trust is scarce and compromise is elusive. The question is not just if, but how coexistence can happen. The future depends on finding the will to try. In the digital age, this conflict is also a battle of narratives. Social media brings raw images and stories, but also misinformation and propaganda. Algorithms create echo chambers, reinforcing biases. All sides use media to shape opinion and justify actions. It's hard to separate fact from fiction. We must seek diverse, credible sources and question what we see. Every viral clip is just one piece of a complex story. Every casualty is a shattered family, a lost future. Civilian deaths, especially in Gaza, are staggering. Statistics can't capture the true scope of loss. Each round of violence deepens trauma and fuels the next conflict. Infrastructure is destroyed, crises multiply, and suffering spreads. The question, how many more, is a desperate plea for change. No military victory can justify endless human suffering. Gaza is often called the world's largest open-air prison. Blockades control everything, crippling daily life and healthcare. Israel cites security. Aid groups call it collective punishment. When violence erupts, the crisis worsens. Aid struggles to reach those in need while the world debates and delays. The cries from Gaza are a call for basic humanity. The world's response is often too slow, too little. We've explored the history, pain, and politics of this conflict. Every victim has a name, every act of violence plants seeds for the next. We can't claim ignorance, we see the suffering in real time. Our responsibility is to refuse simple narratives and hold on to our shared humanity. This is about identity trauma and survival. How many more generations must suffer before peace is non-negotiable? The search for that answer must continue, for all of us.